I love that intro. So welcome to another episode of Make Some Noise with Dr. Jong. That would be me. And tonight we have an exciting, very exciting young lady that's on the channel tonight who's a black belt in Kung Fu. So we're going to be not only talking just about Kung Fu, but also what that has done as an art to help and empower other people in her, I guess, surroundings of sorts. So before we get started, please like this page here, Dr. Jong Music. That would be my page. And I've got this little banner thing, Make Some Noise. Excellent. There's a YouTube channel if you want to check that out. And also, please, when Kamini says her thing, make sure you follow all her socials as well. So, without further ado, let's get Kamini on board. Say hello.
Hey,
welcome.
Doug. How's
Thanks
it
very
going?
much. Yeah, well, firstly, thank you very much for joining. And tonight, I guess maybe start straight off the bat. Maybe if you can maybe unpack this whole black belt situation, being Kung Fu, and maybe how martial arts has helped write a book, and just name dropping here, it became an international #1 bestseller. So maybe where would you like to start first?
Oh, look, I guess I'll start with the reason I got into Kung Fu in the first place, which is the reason I got to the point of writing my story. It was always something I was interested in, something that I really wanted to pursue as an interest at the beginning, not realizing how much more it could give me outside of just learning how to fight, but also from a perspective of well-being and confidence, empowerment, all of that kind of stuff. So started Kung Fu originally in 1998 or so, and went back and forth with it. Had a big break as I had some children and did all of that, and then where the story kind of starts with the book that released, the chapter that I did in that book, was more in regards to when I had the kids, I was back in the workforce, I was doing the day-to-day grind, and I always knew it wasn't for me, that kind of 9 to 5, office wear and high heels just wasn't giving me joy. So I got back into my martial arts and it slowly went from there. It just kind of, I have this belief in life kind of leads you down a path. And when you take the cues that come to you, you can find your happiness. And that's really what happened with me. Started at Kung Fu and slowly got to the point where I was helping out and was given the opportunity to make that a little bit more serious and leave the 9 to 5, and that's ultimately what I did.
Yeah, right. So actually studying martial arts actually challenged you about different lifestyle. So not just actually a mental stimulus, but actually what you want to do full stop for happiness, the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It's me. I don't know how to say it other than saying it like that. If you're passionate about something, which of course you are as a musician, you just know in you that's the thing that you want to do. That's the thing that makes you happy and that's your purpose. And I honestly feel that this is my purpose. I've been training, of course, for myself and for my own health and well-being, but when I started teaching the kids classes, that's when I really came into my own. It was a real challenge, and of course, teaching little ones is a challenge in any field, I'm sure. But especially when you're encouraging them to run around and be crazy and kick and punch and do whatever they're doing, the amount of joy it gives me and the amount of pride and satisfaction that I get from that job, it just means so much. And the feedback I get from the kids and their families in regards to how much it's helped them, it's just a very fulfilling thing to do.
So to embark on this journey, what you're just saying about, and those people just tuning in, so Kamini is a black belt in Kung Fu. We're going to talk about how this has motivated her to write a book, because I want to talk about that too. But was there a particular reason that led you down this path? Was there some kind of experience or traumatic experience that really helped you explore different options for life?
Are we talking about led me down the path of learning how to do martial arts?
Yes. Yep.
I think it was just something I was always interested in. It was just something that I grew up with. I'm from South Africa, and everyone kind of idolized Bruce Lee, and also coming from a country where, doesn't everybody?
Yes. Yeah, the original martial artist, yes, of course.
Oh, for sure, the one that everybody knows, yes. Coming from a country that is, has that tumultuous sort of violent day-to-day, it was something that people were interested in. It was something I was interested in, being able to defend myself, and that kind of experience that I had living in a place that was violent, it was always just going to be a part of me. I was always going to learn how to be able to look after myself.
Wow. And so how long have you actually, I think you actually answered the question, since 98 you've been studying martial arts?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, on and off. I can't say it's been like consistently that whole time, but yeah, I started way back then.
And before we started on camera, you've got the wooden, what do you call the wooden, is it the wooden horse or the...
It's not a horse.
Wooden horse, that's
it's a wooden dummy.
You'll have to lean to the side so we can check the wooden dummy. Can
sorry.
We lean to there? There we go. Wow.
I'm legit.
So you would
got a wooden dummy.
Excellent. So, and obviously you do drills with that, right?
Oh yeah, yep. It's one of the best training tools that you can have. Hello.
Hey, Keller. Hey, and those people just joining us, if you got any questions, please ask. So we're just unpacking about the martial arts, and then we're going to be talking about the story. So, well, why don't we start talking about the story now? So, the story that you've just been published in a #1 best-selling book. And I did the research. I checked it out. It's on Amazon, which is amazing. So, how did that come about? Like, the process. Yes, the end goal at the moment, it's on the #1 selling best list in Amazon. But what did it look like to get there? What did you do there?
Look, it came to me. It was a friend of mine.
Good answer.
I didn't like this. Some of the people who've written chapters have said, it's been an ambition of theirs to be able to be a published author, and it's something that they sought out. Whereas I saw a Facebook friend of mine posted on Facebook. She'd previously done a chapter in an earlier volume. And she said, if anyone has a story to tell, I did this thing and it was awesome, and let me know. So I'm not one to usually follow up with that kind of stuff. I'm kind of I don't like to put myself in the limelight, so to speak. But I do. I had a story to tell, and I felt that the time had just come in my life where I wanted to kind of take that a little bit further. So I got in contact with her, and she put me in touch with the publisher, and we had an interview, discussed what I'd been through, the reason I went down the path that I went down, the reason, where I want to go with what I'm doing. And she liked what she heard and invited me to write a chapter. Wow.
And so writing the chapter, was it really laborious? Did you go, oh my God, I have to sit down and write all this work, or did it actually flow quite well?
Surprisingly, it flowed. I was nervous. I was really nervous. After I'd agreed to do it, I thought, what on earth have I, I'm not an author. But
so self-doubt,
totally.
Right? Self-doubt.
Look, yeah, I play that game with myself far too often. But when it came down to it, I just did my level 9 grading. Yeah, self-doubt. Tell me about it.
Wow.
But with regards to writing the chapter, being my life story, it really flowed. It was just me saying what I'd done, why I did this. And from the perspective of explaining why I'm passionate about Wing Chun or Kung Fu, and the reasons that I became that way, it was really easy. It just flowed straight out of me because I was just speaking from the heart.
That's awesome. And did you have to actually type this out? Did you use like Word or something, or did you use a dictaphone or something? Well, I'm asking this. I'm actually, because I actually did I haven't caught up with you for a long time. So I did honours in. Well, here's my work. So this piece of work here. this was a record, but I had to do an exegesis, which was I started off at 15,000 words and had to put it in the cooking pot and boil it down to way less, and that was really, really hard actually. So I found it quite challenging to practice the art of the pen. So anyway, just asking because it sucks because you spend hours and hours and hours writing this, and you go, I could have said that in like 2 sentences, and like, oh well, that was a waste of time. Anyway,
no, I did find that the flowing I was speaking about maybe flowed a little too much. So yeah, the cutting it down part was a bit difficult, but like you said, you say all this stuff because you're so passionate about it. You're putting your heart on the page, so to speak, and then you can go, oh no, that 2 paragraphs is probably about 5 sentences or 2 sentences or whatever.
Oh, and we do have a question here about your story in this international #1 best-selling book. What is your story about? Are we allowed to get the?
Oh yeah, I'm happy to share that. It's just about. It's just about me making a career change, basically. Deciding to follow my dreams and follow my heart. I was working in a corporate administrative job. Great job, there was nothing wrong with the job. It was just not for me. And also from the perspective of being the responsible adult, 2 children, mortgage, all that, and thinking that was the only way that I could really do the right thing for my family,
right.
Travel all the way to the city, do the 9 to 5, travel all the way back, do that on repeat. And I just got to the point where in the book, in the chapter I wrote, there were times where I'd be welling up with tears, sitting in traffic, thinking, I just can't do it anymore. It's not me. It was like soul sucking. It sounds so dramatic, but that's how it felt.
Yeah, right. Oh, here's a question here. So is it a biography, self-help, motivational?
Yeah. I get, yes, it's definitely about sharing, because there's 25 stories in there. It's about each of those women's journeys and how they made a change in their lives and how they hope to help others. So
and motivate others, yeah.
Yeah, and motivate others to make that change, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to say, oh, look, I'm just going to give away this other thing that's been a success, that's, putting food on the table, all of that. I'll just give that away and suddenly go ahead and start teaching Kung Fu or, whatever, whoever's passion, whatever the passion may be that they're following. But it was the best decision I ever made, yeah.
Right, so in essence, to answer Kel's question here, so it's just really your dialogue of your story about how Kung Fu gave you a better option to be, as you, in your words, to have happiness, not just one day a week, but every day of the week, right?
Yeah, it's not, I don't look at it as this task to go to work. I love work. I love to get up and get in there, and it just gives me so much satisfaction to do my job. And it's not about necessarily, for me it's Kung Fu, but for you it's music. For whoever it's whatever else it may be that makes them feel that way. And it's about following those dreams, not thinking that you can't do it. There's always a way. And I truly believe that it finds you. It kind of, there's a way that fate. Another thing I mentioned in the book is there's this belief in Chinese culture that a little bit different to fate in the Western sense. Okay, it's called Yuan Fan, and what it is, it's about your interaction with your fate. So an opportunity presents itself.
Interesting.
Opportunity presents itself, and you go, oh no, I can't do that. That would. I don't think I'll be able to pay the bills for much longer, or no, I'm too shy to go on a live stream on Dr. Jong music, whatever the situation may be. But it's your interaction with that fate. So if you let it pass you by, then it's gone. But if you interacted with it and followed it, who knows where it can lead you.
It's funny you say that, because it's as Yoda would say on Star Wars, there is no try. It just
Yes.
is. So I
Yeah.
really, really, really fond of that. And I've just got here some more questions here. Express yourself hobby-wise. Yes, absolutely. And it's an outlet. Yep. Well, I must say too, even doing this kind of platform, that getting you involved in this, when COVID hit, I was like, and all my gigs got cancelled. That's it. Like, no gigs. And I had heaps of gigs. And in January, I was in the States, and a lot of amazing opportunities were presented. And I got invited to go back to be a guitar shredding demonstrator at the biggest, guitar convention in the world, blah, blah, blah. However, here I am. So it was like, okay, what do I do next? And, had to face the inner demons it can't be that hard, to just have a go. And I've made some, awesome mistakes. But what I really love about your story is that it's not just about the action, it's about the feeling that's post. And I've just listened to this awesome podcast this morning about dopamine and about the difference between a high performance collective and just, someone who is a high flyer, then depression, high flyer, then gets depressed, all this all day. The difference is the people who are high performance are in love with the journey, not the destination, so.
I love that.
Yeah, so for me, I love playing guitar, and if I get to do a gig, cool. If I don't, I'll just shred in the shed, literally.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just my take on, this whole thing about the feeling coming from dopamine, which can be, done artificially with drugs and blah, 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 blah. But I love it's action based. And as you were just describing before, you had to, just come to terms with yourself, and being emotional about it is probably the first step, because realization there's no change. So with that in mind, how has that helped having the book out now? How has that kicked into gear to the next level of what you want to achieve?
It gave me a little kick in the butt, I guess, to start doing all these things that are really, because I had to write it down on paper. I had to go, okay.
Vision board. Yes.
Yeah, totally. I've had that vision board planned for a really long time, and I've got all the pictures. I just haven't made it into a vision board yet.
Oh.
Look, it's putting it on. Firstly, not reliving it, but unpacking it, as you would say. That whole story of where I started, why I did it, why I went, go, navigate through that whole story, and then find myself where I am today. It's been an awesome kind of reminder about why I'm doing what I'm doing, and don't stop where I'm at now. That this is the opportunity to do something real with this. I've been working with kids for quite some time, but I want to give other women the benefits that I get from this. It's not just about fitness. It's not just about fighting. Wing Chun includes a whole bunch of other stuff. So there's an internal side to it. There's a meditative side to it. It can just make you feel so amazing. And I want other people to see that. It's, martial arts is quite a male-dominated sort of an environment. And when I walked into that school for the first time, I was intimidated. I was, worried about how these guys are going to respond to me. What the heck am I doing here with all these big burly men? But it's, firstly, our school, I learned, is just not that kind of a place. Everyone's really cool and welcoming. But more than that, I do have the ability. I can do that. That's the beauty of Wing Chun. It's not about strength and force. It's about learning to use your skill to learn how to defend yourself, but also to give you good health.
Yeah, well, I think there are a couple of words that come to mind is self-mastery, because, I'm a fan of the martial arts as well, actually. And I think there's a lot to be said about understanding, and as I was just unpacking before, there's the name drop, unpack, is, being okay with the journey, so that if you're always going to get there. What's that famous saying? You need to start 10,000 steps. To travel 10,000 steps, you need to take the first one, obviously, right? But it's that anxiety and, that mental pullback of like, no, yes, no, which will ultimately hold you up. But the point is, it's all in here. And I've gone on, what was I saying? Yeah, so getting back to, just got 3 trains of thought going on here, and it's probably, how am I going to roll it all together? My point is, how do we actually assimilate that, the training from training in a martial art into everyday life? Because a lot of people think it is just all about fighting, but it's clearly not. And I think that understanding how to where your weak spots are and where you feel most vulnerable, I think is probably a good thing, because that actually exposes that when you start training. Go to a boxing class and get clouded in the head a few times, and then it might definitely learn a few lessons very quickly. So getting to my question is, how can you give specific examples of Kung Fu training that you've applied in your real life?
Sure. I'll start off with the one time, I think it's only been the one time that I've had to use it in real life. It was like 6 months into my second sort of round of getting into Wing Chun. So I was working at a mental health facility, and I was approached by someone who's just come up and started asking me like random questions. And I was only young, I was only in my like early 20s, and obviously the warning bells were just going off, but I didn't know what to do. And I started to walk away from him, and he was following me, and he's saying, "I'm going to get you." Like, he was all out for attacking me. And all I knew at that stage was a couple of basic blocks, and that's all I needed. So basically, I got to a point where I couldn't get away from him. I was cornered. I was ringing the bell to get let back into the building, and he just laid into me, and he didn't get my head, he got my arms, and I used the blocking that I'd learnt to defend myself. And that was only after a few months of doing it. So I'd hate to think what would have happened if I hadn't been training at that stage. I have a feeling I would have ended up in hospital.
Wow.
So yeah, just having the reference point of, okay, there's punches coming at me. I kind of know what to do here, even though, certainly no expert at that stage, but I was able to defend myself. And I think more than the physical defending myself, I had the confidence to be able to do that. Like, it came out, like, as it was happening, I was going through it. I know what to do. I'm able to do this. I can look after this situation, It was terrifying and awful, but I was still, I hate to think what would happen if I didn't have those skills at that time.
Yeah, right. So, and what skills have you lifted from, so maybe discipline, pushing through and learning a new technique, and being maybe open-minded to that? I think also martial arts by proxy develops a growth mindset, because you're always learning new concepts and techniques. And we got don't mess with Kamini. There we go. Cool. And if there's any other questions people are watching, please ask away. So where are you at? So you go.
I just wanted to mention, look, I've been doing this for some time now. I love the physical side of it. I love the sparring and the blocking, and using the skills that you've learnt. You get in there and you might get a punch in the face, but it's all right. Oh, that's cool. But the stuff that I've really started to embrace and enjoy is called Qigong. You may have heard of it if you're into martial arts. Anyway, it's like Tai Chi or yoga or whatever, but Wing Chun has its own Qigong, and it's something that I've really devoted myself to in the last year and a half or so. Get up nice bright and early and do about an hour of Qigong and a little bit of forms training each day. And yeah, it's you're talking about a growth mindset, and you're talking about that mental mastery, which is something that I refer to in the chapter. that's where it all starts to really come through, is being able to calm your mind and be able to apply all this stuff you're learning, blocking, fighting, punching, whatever. But if you don't have that calmness of mind, when you really need this stuff, if your brain's all scattered, you can't apply it in the best way possible. So
right,
because
I think because you only ever fall back to your most advanced training. You only ever fall back to wherever you ever trained at, you know. So if you've only got a couple of things under the belt, well, that's what comes out. And I've just got no, that's my own question. Where is everyone listening from? That was kind of random. So talking more about with the martial arts, what are you offering now? Like, what are you helping women do now?
Yeah, so I teach in general. I teach Kung Fu classes to adults, men and women, but more recently have introduced a women's only class, just because I know, you know, that some women have that reluctance to come into a mixed class and start fisticuffs with guys. So because I've been there and I understand how that feels, I've made the opportunity for other women to come on in and learn from, you know, with other women, from a woman. And we'll also be offering a self-defense workshop to anyone outside of the school in late November as well. So that should be good.
Right. Yeah, that's really, really cool. So, when we finish the thing, you'll be able to put your little socials on so people can connect with you about if they want to get involved with your training. So if we talk about the book just for a second, what kind of advice you would give to people aspiring to write a book? I mean, the first thing you've done is, as I said before, it's really exciting that it's on the, you know, international bestseller in Amazon with your first contribution. That's pretty major. So if there's people watching that want to finish a book, what kind of motivational speech would you give to them to get the job done?
Wow, Doug, that's a tough one. Like I said, I'm not an author. I just put my heart on there. I just poured my heart out.
So honesty is the first.
Edit it, cut it down. Be authentic. Be who you are. Speak from the heart. That's all I can say. Look, that's what I did, and I think that was the reason that it was as successful, or has been as successful as it is because all of the women who've written in there have.
You got a round of applause for being authentic. That's good.
Jeez. I think that's the thing. Like, all these women are speaking about their passion. They're talking about, firstly, what they went through maybe, but also the where that's led them, why they did it, and how much there is to life when you kind of just let go of all the doubt and negativity and move forward, try to do something with the skill that you have.
Yeah. And has that like also flourished into other channels? Like, are you into meditation and all that kind of business, or any other, how do I say, soul resting practices?
Well, that's what the Qigong is. While there is the physical movement side of it, it's definitely a meditative thing. It's about, mastering your mind as well as your body. Yeah.
Mastering your mind. I like that. And thanks, Dom. I have seen that book, but I haven't read it yet, but I will check that out. But getting back to mastering the mind, I think music, playing an instrument, is actually very, very similar to that. So, after a while, the fatigue stops and I just keep playing, and then you get into another state, and I'm sure you can do that with whatever your passion is, but it's an experiential place. So I can talk about it all day. Hey, it feels awesome if you shred all day, but many other people might not have that experience because they don't play guitar, but I guess that would be similar to you being a martial artist.
I could do what I do all day and love every minute of it. I might pass out when I get home, but I feel...
there you go.
Oh, hey.
That's awesome. You got an endorsement there. Great instructor. Fantastic.
Thank you.
And you're like ninth level black belt.
Ninth level, yeah.
Which is sensational. That's good. Hey, Jody. So that's great.
Thanks, Jody.
It's obviously a student of some sort. That's good.
Yeah. Jody comes to the school. Jody's been training with us for a while.
Awesome.
And her son as well. Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Jody.
Oh, fantastic!
So I teach kids as well. I'm the kids coordinator at the school, kids class coordinator, but also teach adults classes. Yeah.
So, if someone is actually thinking about doing it during these times with lockdown and COVID, like, are there any other options to train with you that are not face to face? Is there a digital solution?
Yeah, we offer the classes. We offer people to link in on Zoom with the classes, and certainly during that lockdown period, we were delivering all our classes online via Zoom. So yes, there are. We're lucky at the moment that things are going pretty well here in Queensland, but.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, I've just been distracted by Kel's question.
What? I didn't think a Dan was so high. Yeah. Well, she's up to number 9.
I'm
number
not
9.
a Dan. No. It's correct. We don't have Dans.
All right.
So this is just 9th level. I'm not a 9th Dan with karate. I know you have the Dans, but it's a different system, different
average. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, sorry,
so
getting back.
Online is available. We don't do when we were in full lockdown, we were doing the full-on interactive classes, and I was brushing up my play school skills. But we still have them available, but not as there's not as much of a focus now because we do have the schools open again, and we've got our COVID safe plan in play and doing all that face to face again.
Yeah, wow. And maybe a couple more questions, and if anyone else has got questions, please ask. So your biggest influence, obviously you name dropped Bruce Lee before, but is there any other, other influences that you looked up to that in that community?
That's a difficult one. There are so many people I look up to from just the perspective of life. If we're talking martial arts specifically, when I was a kid, Bruce Lee was one of those influences, but I'd have to say probably my brother is that one person who kind of was always there. He was always in my ear going, you can do this, you're tougher than that. Come on, give it a shot, he was always that person who pushed me to go that little bit further, to push me to believe that, it doesn't matter that you're a woman, doesn't matter whatever, just come on in and give it a shot. And then, of course, in more recent times, joining Kung Fu Southside, I have to say that my teacher has been an inspiration to me. He's created this place that's just so accepting of everyone, such a supportive environment. And he encourages people of all walks of life to get in there and give it a go because he knows the benefits. It's not only, like I've said so many times, it's not about the fighting. There's so much more to it than that. Yeah,
about self mastery and also personal growth. Because the biggest fight anyone will have is with themselves. Why are you doing what you do?
Well, the majority of people, I'm sure, and I'm hoping for myself as well, that I never have to actually use martial arts in a self-defense situation. That would be an awful thing to have to go through. But regardless of all that, I do this because it makes me feel great, it makes me healthy, and it's an awesome thing to do as far as your health is concerned. Like I've talked about the meditation and all that kind of side of it. It's something special. I feel like I'm a part of something special.
Yeah. Oh, well, no doubt you are. And getting back to what with the biggest, I think self-mastery is the biggest fight within yourself because it's those, the negative naysay that's inside. Say, no, you can't do that. No, you're not worthy of that. I don't deserve that. I think I need to stay here. I don't deserve more pay. Like, I'm really totally good at that. Yeah. I'm really good at that. Yeah. But it's actually, that's what I said, you have the biggest fight you ever fight is the fight within yourself. It's your own head. Hey, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can see myself differently, Totally, Doug. It's a big deal to get to that point where you go, no, screw this. Like, stop friggin' putting yourself down all the time. You got this.
just get in there and do it.
Yes. And I like this here. Yes, healthy mind, body, and soul. Totally.
For sure.
Yeah, because well, it's kind of funny because I thought the book was going to be the biggest thing we're going to be talking about. But, rock and roll. We're talking about martial arts, so that's awesome. So what's a really cool fact that not many people know about Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee?
Yeah. Well, I thought you were a Bruce Lee fan, so, maybe you could...
Oh, look, I'm not a massive Bruce Lee fan. I'm a fan of martial arts. I can tell you that Bruce Lee learnt... the first style of martial art that he learnt was Wing Chun Kung Fu, which is what I'm doing now. And his first teacher, we're in the same lineage if you look at the history of where he came from. So my teacher's teacher also learnt from Bruce Lee's teacher. So we're in, It's like if you look at the degrees of separation thing, I'm kind of close to Bruce Lee-ish.
Oh, wow. Well, that's the most important part. Well, I think the coolest thing where is everyone? I'm not sure. I think it's Thursday night, but because normally I have lots and lots of people on. But that's cool. They'll probably watch it on the rerun. The other thing I was going to say about Bruce Lee is he used to have chopsticks with 5 grains of rice and then throw them up, and then catch all 5 of them. Must be very, very lightning quick. But I read that. Did I see him do it? No. However, I'm a fan. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So maybe
he was a very cool dude. When you talked about the chopsticks, all I could think of was Mr. Miyagi and
Karate
Kid.
Another thing that Bruce Lee did, he's actually always he developed Jeet Kune Do, right, which is his own version, his own interpretation of martial arts for that time, because I thought that was very progressive of him back in the day, and it sort of helped being a movie star back then too, to get a lot of attention. Yeah, but I thought that was kind of progressive to go to do your own thing, And his favorite one.
Amazing. He's an amazing martial artist. Like, his level of skill was just incredible. And for him to go ahead and develop his own martial art is wonderful. And I see why, because he just had this, this amazing energy, this amazing enthusiasm for what he was doing, that it was like he couldn't contain it. It just spilled out into something brand new. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And he said one of my favorite quote is, "Be like water. Don't resist it. Just if there's an issue, just be like water. Just like surround it, and just go with it. Agree and amplify it. Don't,
Isn't it just a metaphor for life, though? It's
yes, be like water.
In every facet of life, you just got to kind of go with it.
Yeah. Hence why we're here tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe then just to because I'm very appreciative of your time. Maybe the last couple of things for just those new people just tuning in. You're an awesome martial artist. You run your own martial arts school, 9th level in Kung Fu.
I work at a martial arts school.
All right, you are. Wow, sensational.
I work at somebody else's martial arts school, but yeah, I'm one of the instructors.
Professional.
I haven't got my own one yet.
Fair enough. Sorry, I was just looking at the wooden dummy in the background.
Oh, cool.
So, and getting back to the book, and just any other final comments on what else did that what inspired you? I know you said the person told you to come and do it, but actually I've got a better question. What is one thing to maybe help people be aware of the opportunities that come to you? Because as you said, you weren't looking for a #1 best-selling book; it came to you. So, what advice you could give to people to get out of their own way to let those opportunities come to them?
Well, look, that's a good question. You got to think of
working on.
Oh, cool. Well done, Doug. You got to think about what you want to achieve in life. Look, I did the book because I thought it would help me down this path to helping others. That's my that's my aim in life, is to be able to bring this to other people, to be able to share this with other people. And if I just sit in my little corner and wait for that to happen, it's rather unlikely. Whereas if I put it out there and let everybody know I'm passionate about this, and this is the reason why, this is what it's done for me, this is my story. That's, if you have the opportunity to share that and to make roads into being able to share why you do it or why you want to go down a certain path, that's the call you've got to make. But I reckon follow your heart, and yeah, that's what I did. It was a big call to go, oh, I've got this fabulously well-paying job, climbing the ladder, doing all that awesome corporate stuff and being a very good adult. However, I want to go do Kung Fu for a living. It was a big call to make, but the best one.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I just want to say thank you for your time, and it's been awesome to get to know, because I don't think we've crossed paths for a long time.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, but it's great that you got a family now and everything, and got this #1 best-selling book, which is just dead set amazing. And I want to pick more about your brains next time, because I'm actually writing a book as well. So,
oh, cool.
Anyway, I'll talk about that about you next time. But and I just want to say how awesome it is to just for you as an artist, martial artist, just discussing the benefits of art in your life. I think that's really, really important. Without the arts, a lot of people would be in a different mental state. I assure you that. So
totally,
it's been awesome.
Yeah.
But any other closing?
I just want to thank you too. Thank you so much for having me on, and giving me a chance to talk a little bit more about what I do and why I'm doing it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, stay on the line and make sure you please blow up the socials, put all your socials in the count. But yeah, stay on the line and we'll wave off for a second, and I'll just be one sec. Oh, here we go. We got thank you, Kamini. There we go.
Thank you, Cal.
Awesome. She's in Victoria, so I've just found that out. So that's where she said. But all right, I will. Here we go. But just hang fire, and I'll just be 1 second. So thank you very much for tuning in tonight and getting to know Kamini and her amazing story that you should read. And I think it's Change That Matters. Well, she'll put the link in for the book. It's actually on the Amazon #1 best-selling list right now. Like, it's not. It's going to, or it has been. It's like very current right now. It's really cool. It's really cool to get an insight to the people behind the art. And the other amazing thing is discussing her passion for martial arts and how there was a challenge for her to do something different. And as described, when you watch this on the rerun, about having mental headspace, and it was moving her to tears, and something had to change. So I hope that really motivated you. Do something. If it doesn't feel good, it probably isn't. So do something different. But please like and subscribe. And here is all my... Here we go. I need a friend. So please subscribe. And... Oh, yeah. Well, got that up there too. So that'll be awesome. And... Oh, there it is. Please like the page. But anyway, thank you very much for your time. And stay motivated. I'll see you next time.